Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Hey everybody, welcome into Bayou Time Sports. I am Harry McCullough. It is game week. It is the best week of the year, and it happens about 12, 13 times, but it's game week, and it's game week for the Nicholls State Colonels as they will travel up to Ruston, Louisiana to take on Louisiana Tech in the opener, and Coach is not going to want to talk about it, but then LSU will be the following week as the Colonels will be playing a lot of teams from around the state this year. They also play Southern this year, so the Colonels will be making their way around the state, but those first two games, that's a pretty tough start as they go to Louisiana Tech and LSU. Let's welcome them in. That's the head coach of the Colonels, Tim Rebowe. How you doing, Coach? How's the game week feel in Thibodaux, man?
Well, you hitting it right on the head. We went out practice yesterday morning, and that was the guys. They were all yelling, "Game week, game week." It has a good ring to it. It's something special. There's a few teams, Harry. Like right now, there's a week 0, right? Mm-hmm. So. Some of them kicked off college football, but not many. So around the country, opening game. And we try to tell our guys, you work hard all in the off season, the winter, spring, summer, for guaranteed 12 weeks a year to play a game. So it's exciting. It's a buzz around campus. There's a buzz around the community. And yes, we are excited about playing teams in the state of Louisiana. I like opening up with the team, Louisiana Tech. Our guys know about Louisiana Tech. They know their track record. They know players on the team. And then obviously next week going to Baton Rouge is going to be a big boost also.
Yeah, so, you also do Southeastern, Northwestern, so you McNeese. So, yeah, you make your way around the state pretty good for sure. But, yeah, let's talk about this game week and playing Ruston. What you think, what you're looking at with the Bulldogs. Now, this is a little transition for them as well. Last year, they weren't one of the better teams as far as giving up rushing yardages, and that's one of the things you do best is running the football.
Yeah, listen, they're a good mid-major FBS football program. I have all the respect in the world for Sonny Cumbie. I think he's done an outstanding job in Ruston. He hit a few bumps last year, didn't finish, like he wanted. But the game has changed for him too, where transfer portal and guys in and out. And so that's what we're looking at with them. They're coming off of 3. I think they were 3-8 last year, or 3 and a couple wins, and so they're going to be ready for us this year. There's no doubt. Home opener for them, an FCS school coming into their stadium. They have their quarterback back. They're going to look to put some points on the board. It's going to be good for. It's going to be good for our guys. It'll be a good test. Last year we opened up with Sacramento State. And then went on the road to TCU and Tulane. It'll be good to stay in state of Louisiana and open up in Ruston on Saturday night.
Yeah, I was reading a couple of articles from Tech, and they were saying, Tech is much happier to face Nicholls in the SEC in the opener instead of an SEC or conference opponent. It's like, we got an easy one. But then they started looking into Nicholls a little bit, and they, like I say, they see your running back room. They were second to last in the FBS last year in giving up rushing yards. So I'm sure as you're looking at tape, I'm sure they're trying to get that fixed as well. But that's part of your game plan, right? You got 2 studs, and you got more than that. But when you're talking about Spears and Guggenheim, or you talking about going up there, you want to establish that run early, I'm sure.
Yeah, they made a change on the defensive side of the ball too. They have a new defensive coordinator, so a little bit different for us. Harry, in the off season in the summer, everybody breaks down their opponents, their first 3 games, right? So we've been looking at Tech, LSU, and Sacramento State. The opener, when you have a new coordinator, now you have to go find out where he was, where he's been, what some of the things he's done, and then also try to figure out their personnel, who he has coming back. And then he has some different guys in that he's brought in from different programs. It's hard to go follow their personnel, find out where they're coming from. So you're trying to piece some things together. That's why I think so much early on, you hit the nail on the head too. It's going to be about us. It's going to be us establishing in that run game like we like to do, see if we can win some one-on-ones and some battles up front and see what our running backs can do.
Yeah, you actually got your first two games are that way, right? Because LSU, and I know you don't want to talk about LSU, but they also got a new defensive coordinator, a bunch of new players coming in. So back to back, your off-season work, that tape's not going to work that well.
Yeah,
So.
but the good thing is with LSU now you have
Have a game.
2024 under your belt that you can kind of put it together and see personnel and see what they're doing. And we're familiar with Blake Baker, the new defensive coordinator who's at LSU anyway.
Right. So this is, I guess, the fourth game between Nicholls and La Tech. Goes back all the way back to 1998. Like that's a long time ago, Coach. But it's 26 years, and you guys are 0-3. So I'm sure you'd like to go up there and get a win against a team like Tech.
Yeah, and in 1998, I was on the staff here when we traveled to Ruston and played them.
It was a 3-point game, by the way, 32-29. So it was a close game.
Yeah, so they had a couple good returners, a kick returner. The Edwards was a wide receiver who played a couple of years in the league. So they were really good. And listen, again, we got a lot of guys returning, but it's still a new team for us. So we got to figure out who we are, and that's what we hope to do on Saturday, and put a good product on the field. And the oldest cliche they have is let's try to play one game at a time. Let's see who we are, see what we can establish in week one.
Do you just a couple of seconds here in this segment? Do you look at it like, hey, the first four, next four? You play quarters like that with the schedule?
Well, you know what? It played out that way last year because we got off to such a rough start at 0-3. Then we had to build on some things and talk to the guys about, hey, let's get into our conference play, and see what we can do. And I think that's what happened to us last year. So same thing, though. We actually play 5 games with an open date in between, 5 non-conference games before we actually get into our conference play. So, we kind of break it up into non-conference, conference. So probably two segments we break that thing up.
Right. I hear you. All right, we'll take a break. More with Coach Tim Rebowe when we come back right here on Bayou Sports.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time Sports. Harry McCullough here. We're speaking with Coach Tim Rebowe, Nicholls State. It is game week, and the Colonels will go up to face Louisiana Tech for the opener. Then they go to LSU the following week, and then with Sacramento State, right? So that's your first 3 games before you get a little break. The season, Coach, as you talked about a little bit last year, it's always this way, right? You got to go on the road. You got to play these big opponents. It brings money into the program. It's just what you got to do at your level, right? How tough is it? I guess the main thing is to get these guys through kind of healthy before you can get to conference play.
Absolutely. I mean, we want to come through and make sure that we come in. We probably gone in, Harry, as healthy as we've ever been. Going in, I think, into a season opener. I feel good about that. Knock on wood that we can get through the next 2 days of practice and get some guys on the bus. And, yeah, you got to. There's an old cliche in saying after week 1, you make the biggest improvement in your football team from week 1 to week 2. I think this year is going to be difficult to see that. It depends on, what happens in Ruston, Louisiana. And then the next week, you got to go play, in one of the top 10 team programs in the country. So you can make some improvements and probably still not see it on the field. So that's what we have to do as coaches, keep those things in perspective and keep our guys focused on the biggest prize, which is down the road. Obviously, we want to play well. Obviously, we want to win games. But as the head coach, I got to keep these guys' heads screwed on straight. And know this. Hey, listen, you beat Louisiana Tech on Saturday night. Boy, great win. You still got to go back to work and get ready for the next week. You don't win, you still got to get back to work for the next week and get ready for the big season that's coming ahead. So, I did tell our guys this. Me and you talked about game week, and I told them this morning at practice. We were discussing that we practice in the mornings. And I said, listen, just because it's game week and you're saying it doesn't mean that you are ready to go. You still have to prepare. You still got to go out today. It's Tuesday. And I said, without me being negative, we're not ready. And I want, on the other side, I got to tell you we are ready, but then we're not ready. We still got a lot of work we have to do between now and kickoff at 7 o'clock, and that's the type of focus that we have to have.
Yeah, and look, it is a big difference. But look, nowadays with these big games, like LSU will be coming off a USC game, so you got to be ready to play the first game. We saw that Florida State already lost to Georgia Tech, so these games, there's no preseason for college football. You got to be ready to play right when the whistle blows.
Yeah, you only get to scrimmage yourselves.
Right.
2 scrimmages you get to have in fall camp. You don't get the preseason like the NFL. You got to be ready to go. And I'm excited that we catch an LSU. They'll be coming and play us on a
right. They'll be all cocky and stuff. They'll be all cocky after beating USC. You hope, they might be mad if they lose, but hopefully they'll be mad.
And they'll be tired because they'll be coming from Vegas.
Short week, yeah.
Right, short week, yeah.
Yeah, they, all those guys got that NIL Monday. They'll be at the casinos. They'll be doing all kinds of stuff. No, we don't want to say that about the program. But, it is a different time, and you got to be ready to play right away. And as you talked about, do you see that Louisiana Tech's got a lot of transfers coming in? So they'll have a whole new roster that you got to gel as a team too. That's one of the advantages you might have is I think what is like 12 out of 28, starters coming back for you. Huh?
Yeah, and we look at it that way. Even though they had probably a bunch of their team there in the spring, they were still going against themselves. You had the summer and fall camp, but still to be first time in game action that some of those guys are going to be on the field together. So, hopefully we can make that an advantage for us. We got a bunch of guys returning who's played in some games before, and we talked about that too. What is experience? What value can you put on that? What value can you put on guys who played a bunch of games for us, who know what it takes to win, who knows our system, who knows how to travel, who knows those types of things? Hopefully that can give us some value and give us a little bit of credibility going into the game.
Yeah, and look, that first game's different, right? I remember playing baseball, playing football. When you strap them up and the lights are different, everything, it is a different feeling, and you don't know exactly how you're going to react until they actually kick it off. So I guess even though you got experience, it's an opener, and your heart's racing and you're getting cramps. All of that stuff happens that first game.
We were talking about that in the hallway today. It's nothing like that opening kickoff, and you get that first hit, and you get that first. Well, I was telling Colin Guggenheim, you get that first run under your belt. You tell Jalen, you get that first catch out the backfield. There's nothing like that on game day, and it just keeps it grows and grows and grows.
Yeah, it really does. You expecting a good following to go up to Ruston, Coach?
Yeah, last night we did our first Tim Rebowe radio show at Big Mike's, and it was a big success. We had a good crowd there, and there was a lot of buzz and a lot of talk about a lot of people making the trip up to Ruston. It's a short trip, and you can spend the night or get to come home, and still have a drive home. So we're expecting a good crowd of Colonels up in Ruston.
Yeah, for sure. Coach, and as you have this group, you'll never have this group together. I mean, every year this is the only time we got together. So I guess this group has a good chance though to build on what they did last year. Huh?
Yeah, I think we are close to 24, 25 seniors. Harry, we have some guys that are not seniors, but they choosing to be seniors that last year because they were in that COVID year. Mm-hmm. They graduated. They ready to move on. So we have a strong senior class and leadership. And you're right. I remind these guys every day that look around and look to your left and look to your right. This is the last time you'll be together as a group. And going into, we talked about it going into fall camp and now going into the season opener. So you got to enjoy it. Take it with a little pride and enjoy those guys around you and enjoy these moments.
Well, you'll never have a 10th year again at Nicholls State. It's unbelievable. It's 10 years, Coach. Best of luck in Ruston. And of course, we'll talk to you before we play in Baton Rouge the following week.
Okay. Thanks, Harry. Appreciate you.
All right, Coach. That'll do it for this edition of Bayou Time Sports. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford. Built Ford tough.